ups and downs. So if you live life down all the time, that's not a good thing. If you live life high all the time, that's not a good thing either. There doesn't have to be extreme lows, extreme highs. I think the idea is for us to, instead of having a low and a high, is to live somewhere around here. So it's not extreme, it's just nice and consistent. And yes, you'll still have some great moments and some low moments. And I just want to let you guys know that it's okay to have low moments. And it's okay to have high moments too. So I wanted to really reach out because over the past basically 9-10 months, I've been on a path of self-growth. And I mean stuff that I never worked on before. Things that I thought that I needed to work on. And lucky for me as an adult, studies show that as adults, you can only learn new tricks. An adult, they mean 25 and older. You can only learn new tricks. So the majority of the time, like 95% of the time, you can only teach an old dog a new trick through traumatic experience. And you know, when traumatic experiences happened to me, I've always learned from them. I've always been able to alter my ship's course as a result of it. Yeah, at the very beginning it sucks and you don't know how to alter your course, but you'll end up figuring it out. And so I wanted to just say that the last time that my course was altered heavily was through a wasps. It's wasp season here, I think. I altered my course due to a traumatic experience, which was a breakup of a relationship. But there was more really to that. There's a lot more to that. And when I dug deep and started doing the work through that, I realized that the real issue was really myself. The real issue through all of that was really me. And it was things that are put into us through years and years and years of beliefs. It's a belief systems that we happen to come up with in our own self based on our experiences in life as we're growing up. And so for me, this is where it's going to get a little bit awkward, but anyways, for me, it was the search for external love. That's really what it was. You know, all I wanted to do was be loved. That was it. And I think we all do. We all just want to be loved. And we go out and we search for this love, and to make us feel something, loved, right? And so I'm not, maybe not all, but some people do. So I was in search of this idea of love. I was in search of this dream of love, and it was going to make me feel loved. And then, you know, I talked to somebody, I have a friend that I talk to, and she's very, very, very smart. Her name is Cindy. And Cindy, you know, she's a smart girl. I don't know how she got so smart, but she's so smart at this stuff. And she's not a counselor, but she's just smart. You know, like people, you don't have to have a PhD or what have you to be really smart and resonate with people. But she resonated with me. And so what I did was this. Because of words that she had said to me in the past, like 4 years ago, she said these things. She says, you know, Shane, you have to just go and work on yourself. And I thought, you know what does that even mean, work on myself? So I went out, believe me, I went out and I thought, man, if I could only get my body back to where it was when I was in my 20s, if I could only get my health back instead of having heart disease and depression and all that sort of stuff. And yes, I was depressed, guys. I was depressed. I wouldn't have shown you guys I was depressed. I wouldn't have shown anybody February 2016, for 2 years I was depressed, and like I mean depressed. And then because of my I was concussed, so I was depressed. So I knew what depression felt like because I was concussed, and therefore it led me to depression. And then it led to me for eating the wrong foods to try and get out of my feeling of depression. And so, wasp. Did you see that? Those aren't F-19 fighter planes way in the distance. Those are wasps right in front of me. So what it did was it made me realize that, you know, what depression felt like. Yeah, I got hit in the head a couple times to get me to that state. But as some people would say, I probably got dropped on my head as a baby anyway. So I felt that. But then when I had my traumatic experience, through my end of my relationship, and it was traumatic. And you know what, which made me understand that I was depressed. I was depressed afterwards, really depressed. Why is it? Why me? Why did this happen to me? And you know, I thought for sure this, that, and the other thing, and I was in a funk. I was depressed, like not being able to get out of bed, depressed, barely being able to take care of myself, all while having to work, look after my daughter, and put on this show that I wasn't. And that's exhausting. It's exhausting trying to pretend you're something that you're not, right? I'm happy to report that I'm definitely not depressed anymore. I definitely don't pretend that I'm not anymore because I don't have to pretend. And so, and so basically, hang on a second here. That's my friend Yvette. She owns Rocky Point Ice Cream and Rocky Point Kayak here, and she's going out for a kayak in that beautiful water. So basically, I don't know where I was. She interrupted me. So I don't have to pretend anymore is what I'm trying to say. And so what happened is, how did I get through that? How did I get through all that stuff? Well, how I got through that stuff is, number one, I had a huge why, which is my daughter. So although there was thoughts and such and so forth in my brain of, you know, bad thoughts of like, what's life about? Should I really still be here? Did I fail? I failed so big, maybe I should leave. Those type of thoughts. And you know, they're thoughts, right? So although those thoughts were in my mind, my why was so powerful that it would carry me through all the darkest of times. So hopefully you can find yourself a why that's strong and attach yourself to that if you're going through that sort of a time. So it wasn't good enough for me just to get out of the event or to get out of that situation, but I wanted to discover why. Why is it that that happened to me in the first place? And that's what I do. Call it whatever you want to call it. I want to know why, so I can get myself to do something. I can get through it, but now I want to know why, because it's interesting to me. Why did my body shed 46 pounds of fat in 2 months? And everybody thinks it's crazy. Why did it do that? So I geek out on those things. So that I'm able to talk to other people like you guys, I want to know exactly why. Not just guess, but I have my own findings, my own research on my body, and I want to geek out on it. I like examples of why did my concussion go away on 3 days after having it for 2 years? Why did it go away in 3 days when I stopped eating sugars and carbohydrates that were refined, like white? Why did it do that and start eating high fat, including coconut oil? Why did it do that? So I researched, and it showed, oh, ketones. That was the trick. Your brain, when concussed, can't use glucose as a fuel source, but it can use ketones. Interesting. Brain cells woke up. Thank you very much for feeding me. And then I was normal again. So the same thing goes with happiness. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about, is happiness, okay? So yes, I was depressed, okay? Yes, I was depressed. And I had all my happiness stripped outside of me, all my confidence, all my happiness, and all that was gone. But why is it? Why did it all of a sudden return? Thanks, Terry. Yeah, 46 pounds, yes. Not only that everybody I spoke to, they said, that's impossible. And including myself. And I said, well, I'm going to shut you guys up. I'm going to show you. So 46 pounds of, was more than that of fat off my body because I gained lean muscle mass. So it was incredible. Well, let's talk about happiness, because that's what I want to talk to you guys about, is happiness. And how do we get you guys happy if you're not happy? And if you're not happy and you're lying to yourself saying you are happy, then how are you ever going to know you're unhappy? Right? Pretty crazy, right? So the key is to recognize that you're not happy and stop lying to yourself. And we do that. We lie to ourselves. And the way we're able to do that. So I embarked on trying to help as many people as I possibly can in my life. Everybody I touch, I want to help. That's just what my path is now. I want to help everybody. So I want to be able to reach as many people and to make them have that aha moment. You know, because as soon as someone has that aha moment, that's when you know you got them. That's going to be able to make the change. So how did I get happy? Well, I'll tell you how I got happy. I started working on myself. That's what happened. So I started working on myself and paying attention to myself. It was my number one focus, is my own happiness. And the trick is if we can get ourselves happy, everything else will fall into place. So I started with me, and I started with this is I'm trying to figure out in my brain right now how to explain this to you, because you're not going to really believe. I don't think you're going to believe what I'm about to tell you. I don't think you're going to believe it. But I was in a funk, and I was not happy, and I was depressed. And so all I wanted to do was to get happy. And I didn't realize that if you just make yourself happy, that everything else will fall into place. So I thought, believe me, I thought in the back of the day that if I just got my body to look like this, I'd be happy. If I just got my cholesterol, I'd be happy. If I just did this, I'd be happy. But I never thought if I just made myself happy, I'd be happy. You know what I mean? So searching for the external validation of happiness is not the answer. Searching from within ourselves to find happiness with ourselves is. And so I want to let you guys know that what I did was to make myself happy is I gave my body and my brain a fighting chance to be happy, truly happy without external things making me happy. And I only learned this because of the people that I deal with on a daily basis. And they ask me, and most people come and they ask me how to lose weight. How did you lose your weight, Shane? And I say, because the people who come to me, they're overweight, right? And they want to know how to lose weight. And so when I tell them, okay, let's get rid of all of your alcohol. Let's get rid of all of your refined white foods, all of your sugar, all of your sweeteners, all of your fruit. Let's get rid of all of that, all of your processed foods, and let's eat single ingredient foods. That's going to help you with your weight, and that's going to help you, because what happens with all those foods, when I was eating those foods, is it was the foods that were making me happy. The foods was the external source that was making me happy. It wasn't me. I couldn't be happy. I couldn't let my brain try to be happy, because what was happening is my brain was always jonesing. And when I say jonesing, it was always craving the foods that would release the hormones in my brain that would falsely make me feel happy. Yeah, I got rid of all my fruit, right? Now, fruit's not meant to be eaten all year round. Like, don't get me wrong. You can eat some fruit. We're not supposed to be piling fruit in this. But in any event, I want to get into the fruit part. Fruit contains fructose, which is sugar. And it gives our brain, it signals our brain to be able to release something called dopamine. Okay, it's a dopamine release, which is a pleasure hormone. So if you ever notice, like, try to notice when you're walking around, look at the people that are overweight. Okay, and my mission is to try and help people make themselves healthy. And to start being healthy, you have to be happy. That's just the beginning of it. They come one in one. So you actually have to have the ability to be happy without external sources. And you wouldn't go and do cocaine every day to be happy. You wouldn't do that, would you? You wouldn't go do cocaine to falsely be happy. Yeah, you would be happy, but you'd know that you're doing cocaine to be happy. It's the same thing with food. It's the exact same thing with food, and it's worse. Because number one, it's affordable. The foods that make you happy are affordable, okay? The release of the dopamine, it's affordable. It's in everything. You go to anywhere, and you get a frappuccino this. You're getting you're making pasta that. Rice on this. Everything's got sugar in it. So ask yourselves, why does it have to have sugar in it? Why? It's because the people know that it's releasing the hormone dopamine. It's releasing the hormone dopamine, which is giving you that pleasure receptor feeling of pleasure. So when you get that compounded with the blood sugar, what happens is you feel happy, and your blood sugar goes up with your dopamine levels, and then they crash. And then we do the same thing over again when we eat again, because now we're not feeling as good. So consistently all through the day. Why is it that all of a sudden there's this thing, eat every 2 hours? No, don't eat every 2 hours. Don't do it. So that's falsely releasing dopamine, giving us pleasure, and then compounded over time equals you're going to get fat. That's just what happens. And then what happens is we start lying to ourselves, telling ourselves that we're okay and that we're happy. And you know what? That body image doesn't matter. And you know that people come in all shapes and sizes, and all that sort of stuff comes about. But in actual fact, being overweight is not healthy. It's not healthy at all. It's not healthy. And if you think about it, don't get me wrong, I'm not shaming you because you're overweight, but I have to just be realistic with everybody. Being overweight is not healthy. It leads to multiple different things, and the more overweight you are, the more things that break. So let's, instead of breaking our bodies, let's break our habits. So with that also leads to depression. Depression gets, when you're overweight, you get led to depression as well. Okay, so guys, I assure you that I only know this stuff because I experimented on myself first. Then I experimented when other people came to me for help. And so And I was the one that was searching for the stuff externally to make myself feel happy falsely. I was one of them. So I'm not, I'm not saying I'm immune. Don't look at me here right now and say you're in good shape, you're in great shape, easy for you. I don't look at myself like I'm in good shape. I still see the heavy person. Believe me, I do. I still see the heavy person. And so it's I only know this because I experimented, is what I'm trying to say. So, so when we're overweight, it's not healthy. So our body naturally wants to be a certain size based on our hormones. It's what it wants to be. So if we're reaching for external things to make us happy, now it can be relationships too. I want to talk to you about that. Not only is it food, but it's relationships. I was in a relationship for 7 years, and it was a tumultuous relationship. It was a terrible relationship where it was that hunt. It was off on, fight, make up, fight, make up, fight, make up. And I won't get into all that stuff, but I think a lot of us find ourselves in a relationship like that, or some of us do. And it's that the hunt to chase that I was addicted to as well. And it was that belief that, you know what, man, no one else is going to love me. I got to stay in this relationship. And what if this, what if that? But in actual fact, all I needed to do was just reach to myself and love myself. Now that I'm out of all of that and I am in a true happy place, true happiness, and yes, I still work on myself. I work on myself every single day. I work on myself a little bit. Why? Because I don't ever want to go back to that position in which I was in. So I work on myself every day. And that's what I recommend everybody does. So it's that hunt, that chase, but it also goes deeper than that. Then why is it that we need that hunt, that chase, that external validation? It all just stems from ourselves. Let's just work on ourselves and love ourselves. And if you're not, and don't lie to ourselves. I spent many years lying to myself, thinking that I wasn't happy, or I wasn't happy, or I wasn't, that I was happy and I wasn't not happy. So you got to not lie to yourselves. Don't lie to yourselves anymore and say that you're okay with me when you're not. Be a real critic of yourself. Don't be harsh on yourself, but be a real critic. And start to do things for yourself to love yourself. So I would recommend get rid of all of the sugar out of your diet, all the processed foods out of your diet. That's going to allow your brain to heal. And yeah, you're going to go through some real tough days from doing it. You're going to go through probably 5 or 6 tough days. But once you get off of that, once you detox yourself from the refined foods, which are whites, so pastas, breads, cookies, grays, and all that stuff, and you start eating vegetables, green vegetables, and sources of proteins, like nice proteins, like chicken thighs, and butternut squash and stuff like that. Go green as much as you can and get rid of all that processed foods, all the whites. Your brain is going to be able to have a balancing act. It's going to balance itself out, and you're not going to be chasing that dopamine receptor, that dopamine dump that it's giving you. Now, for all of you on here, if that sounds like that would be difficult to do, just type a number 1 below in the comments. If it sounds like it's difficult, because believe me, the people I talk to, the first thing they complain about when I tell them that, I also got rid of my alcohol. So when they say, I got rid of all that and my alcohol, they're like, I'm out, I quit. I'm like, you just quit on yourself just like that? That's crazy. And these are people that come to me. So if that sounds like that's hard, then just type a number 1 below. So my thing here at the very end is this. If there was something that made it so much easier for you to be able to do what I just said, to give yourself a chance to become really, truly happy, your own brain giving you happiness instead of external sources giving it to you, and for you to actually see your potential, your full potential, and to see what you're worth, and to be able to feel like you can accomplish. Why is it when I'm on these lives everybody's calling me? To feel like you can actually accomplish what you set out for. If there was something that could help you do that, I'm telling you that there's something that I do every day. I do it, and excuse me just 1 second. I do it every morning, and I enjoy it and I love it, and it helps me get through even the hardest times and to be able to tackle the things that I do. Sorry, just 1 more second here. Hang on. I don't know about you guys, but I do enjoy my morning cup of coffee. So if there's something that made it easier, then wouldn't you want to know it? So if this video is shared with anybody, just reach out to the person that shared it to you to make it easier on you. I just happened to find a biohack that helps make it easy. I did it the hard way, and I'm telling you, it was hell. It was hell for like 4 days. It was hell. But I did it the hard way. And there's an easier way. So, so what I wanted to just say, guys, just to end this off, is that, so anyways, yeah, if this is shared with you, get back to the person who shared it with you, and they're going to tell you the easy way too, or get in touch with me, and I'll tell you the easier way to get you out of that funk. Because I told you at the beginning of this, how to become truly happy is to work on yourself first. But if you don't think, that if you lie to yourself, and you tell you that you're good, that you're happy, I ask people, so are you happy? Oh yeah, I'm happy. Well, what if you could be happier? No, I'm good. You're good? What if you could be excellent? No, I am. I'm really great. Then why didn't you say that in the first place? All right? Why aren't we all walking around saying, I am amazing? I am, like, look at this day. This day's crazy, right? Beautiful, beautiful day. Why isn't it beautiful and sunny in our own minds first? I live in Vancouver. It rains 80% of the time in Vancouver, and everybody complains about the rain. And I'm like, hey, are you still complaining about the rain? That's crazy. Like, what? I didn't even notice the rain. Life is so good, I don't even notice the rain. Why? Because I came from a place where it was rainy every day in my brain, right? Cloudy and rainy in my day. I came from that